Hello and welcome back to Fatal 12. On the last episode we tailed someone to this old man's house. We concluded that those two are participants who are working together, and just as we did that, Oddette and Frederico also showed up, so 5 of us are currently in the same location. Anyway. Yeah. I mean, we've got to get to school, to be fair. So, honestly, if I was Rinka at least, I would leave. But, time to see what she does. Number 11 and Federico remain hidden for some reason. Regardless, I've confirmed that Ushizuka is a bona fide participant. It's safe to say I'm putting myself in danger if I stay any longer. Agreed. As such, I slink back into the station, taking care not to bump into any of the others. That we don't know of, to be fair. Ah, but we're switching perspectives. Okay. Looks like we were right on the money. I whispered to Oddette when the old-timer leaves his house. Be quiet, idiot. She may have whispered, but she also slams her foot down on mine. Gotta admit, she's uncharacteristically cautious at times like this. You'd think someone massive like her could charge right in, but nope. She even keeps us a fair distance from the house to ensure we weren't seen. Granted, putting this much distance between us means she gets that her massive body doesn't lend itself to stealth. Yeah. I mean, to be fair, aren't you also kind of gigantic based on the sprite? Enough about her. Let me recall how we ended up here in the first place. I bet you're wondering how we got into this story. Me and Oddette had a talk about who to target after the third election, where that crazy thin Japanese lady got eliminated. Third one was the mother, yes, Kiriko. Oddette's intuition played a big part in us targeting Ro, so we still hadn't made use of the cards we were dealt at the beginning. Knowing there'd be a name or two among those initial cards, we decided to go after whoever was in my set. Our set, okay then. Normally I'd be against showing off my cards, but Oddette told me which cards she'd taken from Ro immediately afterwards, so... Well, not like she chooses what to do without planning to get something in return. Turns out I had that Russian kid's name card, Sophia something something. The kid had been through some rough stuff, but it ain't any of my concern. We took her parents hostage and Oddette got her to spill her life story. Thing is, she implied that she had one of Odette's cards. Not only that, but Oddette decided to give her some time to screw around. Time to let her get over her regret, really. Can't say why she did it, but there ain't no point trying to get into that woman's head. Because she's not a monster, she's just trying to survive, right? Even though, obviously, the way she's depicted is as a monster, she's not, I'm guessing. I wouldn't have been able to learn that much about Sophia with just a name, so I decided not to complain. Had things gone according to plan, Oddette would have eliminated Sophia, but that Mihara broad one-upped him. Make no mistake, Oddette isn't the type that let something like that slow her down. Seems like it. We're the same in that regard. I don't know, you seem to be slowed down by Oddette. No, well, in the sense of Odette's kind of slowed down by you, because let's be fair, you're following her, but she's pretty much better than you are. Plenty of things went awry for me back in Italy, but I never took issue with it. Okay. In fact, those situations were when people exposed their worst side. You gotta make the most of that. Just like I said in the Court of Fate. 2 of the 3 cards dealt to me at the beginning belonged to participants that had already been eliminated. Next up is numeral 5. Ushizuka, Japanese names. Ushizuka, Shigetsugu. There we go. Gotta take it slowly. Oddette has his name card, so we used it to take up dirt on him, and here we are. Hey, Space Cadet, get it together. We're heading back. The hell? You're saying we can't just jump the old geezer now and make him squeal? That, or we could break into his house while he's gone. You've heard enough oxygens recently that brain of yours up in space? Ain't no one crazy enough to do that this time of day. Not unless they want to get caught and reported to the police. Don't forget, this is a residential district. We can't go wild with like with Sophia and Ro. We gotta come back early in the morning or late at night. I'd say early in the morning. Well, actually no, late. Well, people do the night shift, but early in the morning people are still awake at the time. Not as much, I'd say. Only got yourself to blame for that. She smashes her foot down on mine again. Guess she isn't too pleased about the implication that she's the one that stands out. I mean, well, I'm trying to think of how to phrase this. Yes, they both stand out, but it's more in a flattering way. They are attractive people. I'll say that. There we go. We didn't get any worthwhile info here, did we? So you'd think, but it's easy to take a stab at how he died now that we've seen his house. Well, like infection, moss, mold, old age. How's that run-down shack's gonna oh, now I see where you're going. You're on point for once. Keep going. Figured she'd spill the beans if I acted like I caught on, but that didn't go quite as planned. Now I know not to even bother pretending. She smacks my shoulder before she continues. This is a lonely old man we're talking about, in a country that's become known for cases of elderly being discovered dead in their homes, no less. Knowing how insular Japan and its people can be, that's probably why it happens so often. Hell, apparently, there's even specialists to deal with the dead and rotting bodies too. Anyway, just remember that the woman told you. Just remember what the woman told you. As a big hint as you can get. That fatty did enjoy running her mouth. That's kind of. I haven't seen the person that we were talking about. I think back to what she told me. Seems like there were rumors of him kicking the bucket since he rarely left the house. Starvation, huh? You think that's it? Insular as Japan may be, it's a developed country. Wouldn't have gotten entire retirement or employment benefits or something. Under normal circumstances, maybe. That woman did mention that he had a bad back, right? Yeah, that's right, she did. Don't know why she remembers more of this stuff than me when I was the one who talked to the woman. Because she's made to be smarter than you are. Don't underestimate lower back pain. A shipmate of mine suffered from it at once, and they couldn't bring themselves to move even an inch. So let's assume the old geezer got hit by it out of nowhere. Well, ignoring the fact that it wouldn't be sudden if he had been suffering from it before, but he don't know how to call for help. Everyone's used to him staying inside, so they wouldn't bat an eyelid. Not like he's getting direct care from the government, just disability benefits. So no one's gonna come check on him. All it takes is a week without food or 3 days without water for someone to croak, trust me. I can't tell if she's serious by the tone of her voice. I mean, that is a fact. Knowing what she's been involved in, I wouldn't be surprised if her crew had come close to starvation at some point. That, or she's seen it happen one of her shipmates before. So basically, he starved to death after suffering from some crazy back pain. And all because no one was there to help him. It's possible, but would it really happen that quick? Whoa. A familiar light emanates from my book. Cool, we have a card now. That's a sign that the new card's been made. Same thing goes for Oddette too. When she notices, she can't help but grin. It's honestly sickening how good she is at this. I mean, yeah, someone's gotta be. Games are always unfair like that. Even so, he seemed well enough to be left just now. Same for the Russian kid. Guess that any participants with obvious symptoms are cured for them during the divine selection. You're probably on the right track there. Chances are everyone's physical condition gets reverted to the time when they were healthy. She nods in reaffirmation after repeating what I said. I half expected her to say she doesn't care, so it takes me by surprise. Takes all of us by surprise. Her expression reverts to its usual state, and then she turns around. Alright, we got enough info for today. Let's head back. We head back in the way we came. Make sure no one has spotted us by... Make sure not to be spotted by Ushizaki, or Ushizuka. Can't get the right name. Unbeknownst to Rinka, Alan had been tailing her for the past few days. It brings him to the residential district. Okay, so 6 players. 6 of the remaining 8. The only one... Hold on. Cards. Where's the cards? Oh, we've got an image now. Cool. So, yeah. Currently here, at school, here, eliminated, unknown, eliminated here and here. Okay, so the only character that we haven't seen before, and Miharu, are the only 2 who are not here. Cool. Cause of death is sickness, seeing the world. Oh, number 10. All of number 10. Cool. Alan Scorpion, seeing the world. Oh, number 9. Gold medal. So, number 9, who we've not seen before, is some sort of sportsman or Olympian. Child's name, whatever, yeah. 5, cool. And this is number 4. Whereas... Hold on, this is number 4? Cause of death of the fire, the same fire as us. Okay. Cause of death is starvation. Name. Cool, so we just need the regret. Probably his family, I'm gonna guess. Because obviously he's been left alone. Anyway, unbeknownst to Rinka, Alan was trailing her for the past few days. It brings him to the residential district where Ushizuka Shigetsugu, whose name he is yet to learn, lives. Thanks, narrator. What's more, he learned the whereabouts of both her school and line house. Why us, Alan? Seeing that she's making her way to school after obtaining the elderly man's name card, he chooses to stop tailing her for the time being. He closes his eyes and recalls her figure. Rinka. That's weird. Also, his hands. His hands? Oh. Okay. This man's hands. Eliminating her would prove a simple task, were he to actively focus on it. However, a number of reasons prevent him from doing so. Because he believes everyone's after her. Well, not everyone, but Miharu. He also knows the fact that there's 4 other participants here. The first is her relationship with numeral 2, Miharu. She may have gone to lengths to make it seem like they have been falling out, but Alan witnessed them being friendly at the Lighthouse. It confirms to him that they're still cooperating. One cannot target Shishimai Rinka without first dealing with Hebinata Miharu. Alan has no idea which cards she has been dealt at the beginning of the game either, which is the main reason he has been hesitant in getting involved with her. Her actions during the previous election show that she cannot be underestimated. She may have eliminated a girl far younger than herself, but she went head-to-head with number 11 to obtain election rights. The biggest reason of all, however, is that Alan has found himself under suspicion from Japan's police. His recklessness while obtaining Kamibuchi Keiko's information has landed him in a tight spot. So, basically what we're learning is Oddette is a better player than Alan. He made sure to scout out the positions of each camera in the hospital and cut off those he couldn't avoid. But something unexpected happened. He somehow ended up on the list of suspects responsible for the attack on the hospital. Under normal circumstances, he would have used illegal means to ensure that he would not be arrested, but his current situation does not allow for that. Especially because he holds far less influence in Japan than back in India, where his company is based. Thanks for all this narration, narrator. He may have some leeway, but now is no time to flex those muscles. Valid as these reasons are, Alan is simply using them as the means to distract himself from the reality of the matter. There was a far simpler reason behind his choices not to pursue Rinka. One of that is that he had noticed earlier. The look in her eyes, it reminded him of himself. Not only does she lack the amassed fortune, but she is also now nowhere near as physical and imposing, and yet somehow her eyes burned with a determination matching his own. More importantly, Alan has the chance to learn the old man's name the same way Rinka did, but he opts not to. To be more accurate, he can't. This is thanks to his spotting a particular duo keeping their eye on the old man's house, numeral 3 and numeral 11. Alan arrived after Rinka's departure, so they likely had no idea she was also there. Number 11 is in possession of number 5's card, if I recall. That was more than enough reason to understand why she was here. With sufficient connections at one's disposal, learning where someone lives, based on their name alone, is a simple feat. What surprises Alan is the fact that someone like her would cooperate with number 3. The sheer stupidity he displayed in the Court of Fate had Alan convinced that he would be left for later, but that was no longer the case if he's with number 11. It may not seem like it, but Alan has respect for those who have eliminated other participants. Yeah, I can see why, because you're fighting to survive, basically. Only 2 people have earned his respect so far. One is Miharu and the other is numeral 11. Keep calling it that. Well, yeah, I guess because everyone knows Miharu's name, but only Frederico knows Oddette's name. Hold on. Do we actually, if we click on Oddette, Malenkon, okay. Alan can also tell that the latter is no ordinary person. One glance is all that's needed to understand her background and the deeds in which she has been involved. Based on what he's seen, she seems to have the upper hand with numeral 3. He must be her foot soldier of sorts. Pretty much. Regardless, I know now what must be done. His target switches from the old man to those 2. Keeping an eye on them will likely lead him to getting his hands on numeral 5's information without much effort. Not only that, but discovering where they're based now, while unaware of his plans, will give him an advantage of down the line. Okay. That may be enough to make up the disadvantage his celebrity status gives him. He begins to tail the 2, taking extra care not to be noticed. Soon after, Alan returns to the residential district. His attempt to tail them hadn't ended as well as he hoped. Not for being noticed, though. Alan trusts himself not to slip up when it comes to that. However, those 2 must be unconsciously taking a path to shake any potential pursuers. It eventually led him to losing sight of them. My priority should lie with numeral 11. He mutters to himself and not to stand out. He then makes his way back to his own base of operations. The time has come for him to finally take action. Only for number 4 to come out the house? No, we're just back at home. Okay. After a long day, I finally have some time to relax in my room. Nothing noteworthy has happened beyond this morning's events. Although I guess the fact that my class has finally gotten around to prepping for the cultural festival counts as noteworthy. Sounds like they've moved forward with the fortune teller idea. The one in charge will essentially prepare a bunch of fortune telling methods and use them on whoever stops by. They've gone with this plan because one is in charge. What? Because the one in charge wants to test out the so-called methods. Fortune telling, readings one's fates. Funny how they've ended up with that after things I've experienced. At least, I'm not involved with the plans. or being asked for my opinion. They're just gonna make me and Mihiro to help the day of. Mao, on the other hand, seems fascinated by the whole thing. She'll be helping out. She'll be helping to prep there as well as work longer than we will during the festival. All I gotta do is act serious and mutter some cryptic stuff. That's right up my alley. Just what you'd expect to hear from her. I wonder if they'll manage to finish everything in time, since the Cultural Festival is in 2 weeks, so it's 2 more eliminations and we'll be halfway through the game. Well, not the game, well, the Vine Selection game. I bet we're the only class this far behind schedule. Yeah, I already feel exhausted and it's barely 10 PM. Well, that makes sense considering I left the house early this morning. Number 5, because I'm not pronouncing that every time. I repeat the elderly man's name in my head to make sure I didn't forget it. You have a literal card. You don't have to remember it. Now that I have to find out his cause of death and regret, but I'm not quite sure how to go about it. I'm still curious about the girl staying with him too. Well, I do have her cause of death cards, and all I know is that the fire's involved, nothing else. It's probably the biggest issue with the cards dealt with us at the beginning. First things first, I got a plan on what to do moving forward. As the things aren't difficult enough, I got Federico and number 11 to worry about as well. Things may have gone well enough yesterday and today, but that doesn't mean I'm a pro when it comes to tailing people and such. It's entirely possible that I'll mess up at some point and get myself stuck in a tight spot. Regardless, I can't sit back and let those two get the other hand. One option is to throw caution to the wind and approach number 5 directly, but that's too risky. I mean, you could team up with those two, and then it would be a team of 4 versus a team of 2 versus a team of 1 versus a team of 1. Yeah, that should be... Yeah, 4, 2, 1, 1. Yeah, that's it. That's it. Anyway, number 11, Oddette, would likely end up adding me to a list of targets alongside him, and the girl if I did as well, or him and the girl. Yeah, trying to search for number 5 on the internet, but to get any relevant results, getting info on him without putting myself out there seems tricky. What about social media? Like maybe family? I can't just waltz over to the city hall and ask for his family register when I'm completely unrelated to him either. That's why I'm going to approach things from a different angle. I do have an advantage over that duo. A majority of the participants, myself included, are from Japan. Plus, most are located near Shinjuku, an area rich with schoolgirls just like me. It keeps me from standing out in most situations, which is advantageous. The only issue is that the sole approach that I can think involves questioning the locals near his residence. Actually, that might not be too bad of an idea. I did shuffle over things pretty early this morning, so there wasn't many people around. It's probably why those two showed up when they did too. They aimed for a time when few people would be around. But as for me, I don't need to worry about standing out. It's hardly normal to ask questions about some random old man, but hey, I'll still seem less suspicious than either of those two doing the same thing. If I really need to, I can even pretend that I'm to be the granddaughter of an ex-wife or something. That is an interesting plan. I need to act like Naomi did at the hospital where Keiko was. I'm going to this evening. Everyone's running around shopping around then. Not only does it give me more people to question, but I can also blend into the crowds if needed. With that sorted, I should sleep as much as possible to get ready to take action. But just as I'm about to turn off the lights, I hear a distinct meow coming from down by my feet. It's none other than Leith, our friendly little freeloading cat. What is it now? I always make sure to feed it and water it out, so I doubt it's hungry. It doesn't respond to my question, of course. It'd be pretty freaky if it did. Sorry, but I got to go to sleep now. I want to give it some attention, but I'm a bit too tired tonight. I flick the light off my chamber into what? I flick the light off and clamber into bed. Leave follow suit, which is rare. It prefers to sleep atop the covers, not under them. This little rascal has a habit of using my stomach as its pillow, too. Well, that's apparently a thing I know about cats. I say I know about it, but the thing I heard about cats, they'll apparently, like, they'll cover your nose and mouth just to find out if you're breathing or not. So that's an odd little way the cats show concern. I stroke its head for a moment before shutting my eyes and focusing on sleep. It's amazing how warm something with such a tiny body can be. Ooh, what's this? I don't think we've had this before. There's a term for when one realizes they're dreaming. Lucid dreaming. True. I also do like the different designs of the clocks. Because, like, I'm thinking, right, because all the clocks are supposed to represent each person. Because, again, because, like, number 12, celebrity kind of manufactured, like, wristwatch. Number 9, I don't think number 9, well, we haven't seen number 9, but would be expecting it like a animal lover. Whereas ours, obviously, it shows diamonds. So clearly we can't base it off the designs to represent the people. Though not every one of them is a circle, such as 2 and 7. Yeah. I mean, you could also argue, obviously, 3 and 10 and 11. Anyway, cool. Ever since the Divine Selection began, I've experienced at least once per week. Granted, it's not quite sure that you can call it what goes on in the court of fate a dream. Whatever, I found myself once again in a strange place, despite knowing for a fact that I went to sleep not long ago. Oh, you meeting another god? Okay, so you're not Parker. Who are you? Hey there. It's been a while. I'd say it's been a while, but I'm not sure if I actually has been or not. Don't comprehend you humans' perception of time too well. I've seen this man once before. I don't remember talking to this person. It's only now that I remember having met him in my dreams before, though. I take it you remember me? Or remembered me just now? I don't. Like how you've lost some of your precious memories. It's a foregone conclusion that you'll forget everything that occurs in this dream. I must have. I want to say something, but I find myself unable to speak. He dominates the conversation. It may be a bit rude to say this when you run a coffee shop, but I'm actually more interested in tea. In fact, I've been aching for some good afternoon tea for a while. I mean, why not just dream up some tea then? Alas, not only do I have no one to talk to here, but there aren't any tea sets to use either. Such a shame. This man knows who I am, so they are talking to us specifically. I'm not sure how important that realization is when I'm likely to forget everything he says, though. Well, enough pleasantries for now. There's no time to waste on those when one of your lost memories has made its way back to you. It's precisely for the reason that I made the effort to bring you here and offer my congratulations. Which memory, you ask? It seems I appear before you actually recovering... What? I appeared before you actually recovered the memory by mistake. Understanding your concept of time is truly a difficult task. Its flow may be linear, but the rate at which it moves always throws me off. Well, that's true. It's either too fast or too slow, but it's always depending on what you're doing at that moment. The bad times always last forever, but the good times go too quickly. Anyway, do take the opportunity to recall some prior events before the morning comes. Do we get to pick which ones? I'm standing alone in the Court of Fate. I'm on the same platform as usual, but for some reason, none of the other participants are here. Good evening, you poor lost lamb. I'm afraid to inform you that you've become a slave to fate. A girl dressed in white addresses me. It's Parker. He stands in front of me, despite the fact that there's no solid surface beneath her feet. I watch from a distance as both of us face one another. Is this our second game? I conclude that this is one of my memories, since I'm able to watch myself as though I'm in the third person. I'm a third party. Your spirit has found itself roaming the corridors of fate after your passing. Fear not. Fate has changed its course, unless you must become a participant of the divine selection. She begins to tell me about the divine selection. Well, either way, we're at the time limit, so I'll have to call out there, and hopefully I can see you on the next one. Because I hope you've had fun. With that, goodbye.